Hello, it's Jennifer. Today is Tuesday, May 29th, and I'm going to talk about my dwarf tomatoes today. So this first one is Tiny Tim. It's a variety I've grown before. It puts out tomatoes, I believe, that are about the size of a pea. So they're edible, but they're not really practical. It's a cute plant though. Right now I'm having problems with fungus gnats, so don't mind little buggers flying around. This next tomato is called Little Bites, and it's recommended for a hanging tomato. So far, it's been a very handsome little potted tomato. So this is in a 4-inch pot, and it's doing quite well. Again, I've got fungus gnats problem. And over here's the Minibel. And this one's doing far better outside, so I'll show that in a little bit. And this one is another Tiny Tim. And then over here, I've got a red robin. And this one is another Little Bites. So I've got Little Bites growing outside too. And as you can see, they just look like regular tomatoes, but on a much smaller scale. And this is my outside Little Bites tomato. These were started approximately the same time as the indoor ones. As you can see, the outside plants have flowers all over them and should set fruit soon. These are having problems with fungus and powdery mildew. So I've been trying to treat them, but I don't think they stand much of a chance. It's powdery mildew is generally in this area. And I think rather than being in the soil, I think it's actually airborne in my yard, since we have a lot of wind this year. And I've noticed that the infestation seems to be directional, and that is we've been having wind coming off the desert from the east and running to the west, and I see the powdery mildew on the east side of the plants. So so I think the way to keep the powdery mildew down in my yard is to just try to keep it out of the wind, which is difficult, but I'm doing my best. But anyhow, so these are 3 plants, actually 4 plants, planted in a hanging basket, and they're doing just fine. The only problem with this hanging basket is that it's hard to keep the soil moist, so I have to remember to water it every day so the plants don't dry out. And this is particularly tough during seed germination, where I would water the soil multiple times a day because the top layer would dry out. So just to keep that in mind, that you either want to transplant the plants out into a container in the yard when they're big enough, or you have to keep the soil moist while germinating the seeds outside in a hanging basket. This is the Patio Princess, and it's a plant that grows about 18 inches to 2 feet tall, and it has nice size tomatoes on it. So you can see here that's got some nice size salad tomatoes on it. It's like all the other dwarf plants, it's Determinate, so it's already put out all of its tomatoes, and they're just waiting to get big and ripen. Anyhow, this is a good plant for container gardening, especially if you don't have a lot of space. You can probably grow this inside too, though it probably does much better outside because it seems to need a lot of sun in order to have a lot of tomatoes. So again, this is Patio Princess. I have 2 of them. This is one of my outdoor red robin plants, and it's already got little fruits on it. So these typically grow to less than a foot tall, and the fruits on them typically are the same size as a cherry tomato. I don't know how this one's going to do because it lives most of its life in shade, so it didn't get as big as it should. But I recommend this plant. It's a cute little plant to have indoors, and also if you have a small garden outdoors, you don't have a lot of space. Red robin is a good tomato variety to grow, and the cherry tomatoes taste really good. They're not super sweet, but they taste really good. And lastly are these two plants, which are Minibels. So same ones I had inside. These have flowered. They have fruits on them. And I'm waiting to see how the fruits taste. There's another one over here. It's a little bigger. It doesn't have fruits yet, so it has flowers. And then this one over here, I believe, is another red robin, and it has flowers on it. And as you can see, again, these are good to grow outside if you have a small garden. So like this patch here is a 2x2, or maybe 30 inches by 30 inches, more like that. And I've got 3 little tomato plants in here, some peppers, and some soybeans. So you can do a lot if you choose your plants wisely with a small garden patch. And that's all for today. So today is the 1st of June, so this is a few days later after I started the video. And I've had to move the plants outside because the fungus gnats problem was just too great for me to handle. There's too many little bugs and it's disrupting our life. So I've brought these outside to finish growing. There's, of course, beneficial bugs to eat the fungus gnats. And, they'll get plenty of sun and they'll probably get bigger out here than they will indoors. So I think when you grow these inside, you have to make sure that you do not get things like fungus gnats or aphids inside your house, which is kind of difficult for us because they just fly in through the window screen or through the open door and into the plants. Also, sometimes the soil has bug eggs in them, and this time I didn't take care to either put the pyrethrin in the soil before I planted these, or didn't take care to pour boiling water on the soil before planting, so it looks like I didn't get away with it. Anyhow, so that's the follow-up to these, but they're outside. They seem to be doing fine. They were getting the same amount of sun inside, so they don't appear to be having problems acclimating. And I will give an update on these later.